Hey everyone, welcome to the Feud Wild West Tactics stream. We've been having a few technical problems tonight, so I can't see any of the feedback or questions somebody may be asking on Steam. So hopefully you guys have fun watching the game here, and hopefully you can see what's going on. I'm going to kick off a story mode mission. This is usually what we do in our streams, is do a story mode or a skirmish before, and show you a little bit about what the stories in Feud have to offer. So basically, we're going to go in and do one of the McCoy missions tonight. Thunderborn has asked me, this isn't a D&D game. No, it is not a D&D game. It is a Wild West Tactics game. No, it's cool. That's fine. That's fine. All right, we're gonna start off this mission. It's on near the railroad tracks. Every mission that you do, you get a little cinematic to start it out. So that's gonna, play a little bit, give you a little bit of story, give you a little bit of background, and then you get into the battling. So we're gonna skip through this right now. I'm just gonna exit us out of here. And we're in to the level now, and you can see there's some wagons and stuff around, but you can't see any enemies right now. I've got the guys set up, and they're ready to go. So let's see what we can do here. We got Randall. Gonna move him into position, take some cover, start kind of trying to find out where the guys are, see what's going on. We got Devilance Hatfield. This is one of the missions in the story where the two families team up to go rescue some family members, some joint family members that fled their territory. They don't know what happened to them, so they're out here with a few of their friends. We got some enemies sighted. We're in a little campsite, and off we go. So, gonna rush Caitlin here. Caitlin's kind of an assassin type of character. Does quite a bit of damage and has some interesting special abilities. All these guys are fully leveled up. You can see all their specials down here and all the things they get as you level them up. We kind of boosted everyone a little bit for this mission. He has an aura around him. That's what you saw. You saw a little effect on Rita there as he ran by because his aura affected her as an accuracy aura. Goes critical chance and accuracy by 5% if anybody's within 5 spaces. Gives you a reason to cluster potentially if you want. It's a good thing, getting bonuses. No one's ever upset about that. So let's see what we can do here. We've got Condemn. I'm gonna reach out and we're gonna knock one of these guys down here. Condemn is basically the equivalent of a stun, so it blinds him. So this guy right here, as you can see, let's twist the camera around, is blinded. He can't see what he's doing. It means he's probably not going to be shooting at you, and it kind of takes him out of play for a little bit. That's one of Preacher's specials you can get. Rita, we're going to run her up closer. The idea with Rita is you want to get her in as close as possible to somebody. She's got knives. She has a little bit of a range on throwing attack, but that's about it. She doesn't really have. You want her to get in close and start stabbing guys. Now see, Randall just got his bonus as well, so that's good. And I'm out of action points, and we're gonna see what the enemies do. They're gonna move in on us probably. Try to find some cover if they're smart. One of them just fired off a buff of some kind. Everyone got an extra action point. That's a huge benefit for the enemy's team. That one guy over there gave everybody in the area extra action points. This guy just buffed his crit as well, so you got to watch what they do. You can hover over an enemy and get a feel for what abilities they might have, and it lets you determine strategies. You can also tell how strong the enemy is by the icon. This guy's icon is kind of this bald guy with a bandit's mask, and he's weak, scruffy, very weak. So we're gonna have Caitlin just start unloading on this guy next to her. There we go. And see if we can't put him in the grave. She hits him a couple times. Now, some of the guys are pretty tough. We can see if this guy's a tougher guy, and he might be. Yeah, he's tougher. He's got a hat on. You can generally tell how difficult someone's going to be. Some guys you can kill in a couple of shots. Some guys take a little bit of damage. Now, see, Randall, what we just did there is he did his shotgun blast attack, which has a chance of knockback. So what he did is he knocked that guy away from Rita, so he's going to have to move back in next to her. Also, Caitlyn. But it also means Caitlyn could move away right now if she had any action points left. It also means this guy's completely exposed to Randall, who's going to leg shot him, might kill him. Yeah, put him down. So we effectively eliminated him before he could do very much, which is good. Let's see what else we can do. Let's see if we got range to do. We haven't got range to do anything else, so we're gonna have to start trying to move Devil in. But he's got kind of a limited amount of space he can get to. So there we go. We moved him in. Rita has got 2 action points, so we've got a lot of things we could do with her. This guy's blind, so we're just gonna run her up here around the edge of the map right here, and you can see she's right next to these guys. Now they can see her, but she can also do some devastating stuff here. I'm gonna have her gut stab. It's a very, very powerful attack. It lowers the enemy's toughness, and in this case, just kills him because it did enough damage. Again, she's very effective at taking guys out, especially when she's leveled up. So here we've got some different options. You can click on the target here, this little kind of target icon, to see the enemy. And when I hover over him, it'll move towards the enemy, so you can see where that enemy is at. So we're going to shoot this guy over here, who has 92% accuracy with one of Preacher's specials. Now we'll get into what this does if he doesn't kill this guy. So Preacher killed him. What that would have done if he hadn't killed him was give him an accuracy bonus for another shot. We can also start moving Preacher up potentially, but I think we want to see what we can do if we can. 57%, not great, but we got him. Got some cover defense, but still got some damage in there. Now Randall needs to get close. Randall's a shotgun, so basically he wants to get close to enemies so he can unload on them. Unfortunately, he did his blast there, and we just were able to move him in. This guy over here is going to shoot at him, and he's exposed to him. But that's all we can do for this round. Everybody's used all their action points. One of the things in Feud that we do is you can use your action points any way you want. You can basically move, shoot twice, move twice, move and shoot. Like whatever you want to do, you can spend those action points any way you want. And that lets you kind of formulate your own strategies. And also you can kind of utilize your whole team at the same time. Like your entire team goes on your turn, so you can basically treat them as like, I don't want to say like one character, but like a group where, like, you can use Randall's shot to knock someone out of cover and then everybody can shoot him, or you can use Preacher to blind somebody and have everybody run past that guy. There's all kinds of ways to change your strategies up based on using your team effectively as a group. So Rita's right here. We're gonna have her move in. Just move one space in and stand on this guy's body that she did last round. We do wide slices. Actually, this is for multiple enemies, so we won't gonna do that. We're just gonna do a basic attack. She'll probably kill this guy. She's pretty tough. So it looks like we just got something for. Boom. He goes down in one shot. That was good. Thunderborn asks, are there any voices on the enemies? Unfortunately, that was one of the things we did not get a chance to add. They do make comments when they do stuff successfully or when they miss. We do have like visual, just like text comments that show up in the game, but we actually, unfortunately, one of the things that we would have liked to have added was voice, but we did not get a chance to. That was just kind of one step outside of our range, unfortunately. But yes, that would be awesome. So Preacher's been knocked down by a shot, so we're gonna have him stand up and just try to start taking some of these guys out. Maybe. Now Randall has an interesting attack here. He's got a big attack called Blow It to Pieces. Well, this is pretty awesome because it actually destroys cover. Now some cover can't be destroyed, but these crates and boxes here can. So this should destroy them, unless something goes awry. There we go. So he hit both those guys. He destroyed all their cover. He's exposed them. which means everybody else here can get a better chance at shooting him, including Randall himself. He has Man of Action as well. This is a free action attack, and if he crits on it, he gets to move immediately, which can be really fun. In this case, he didn't get that free movement this time around. So let's see what Caitlyn can do here. Well, Caitlyn, kind of need to move her somewhere where she can start getting eyes on guys. So move her over here. I'm gonna have a look at this guy right here and see if we can. Now we can't quite shoot him yet, so probably be best if she took cover somewhere. We're gonna bring her up close though. Devil's kind of hanging back. He's got a rifle, so he's got pretty good range, but he can't quite get all the way across the map. And I think that's it for now. Let's see. Unless we want to do a showdown. Do we want to do a showdown? Why not? So this button right here is the high noon meter. When it goes to full, you can do a showdown with an enemy. You can't really see this guy's kind of around the tree, but or sorry, the cactus. But you'll draw and shoot, and he's a little bit tougher, so it's going to be a little bit harder to do. There you can kind of see him. And we got him, hit him pretty hard, got a critical wound on him. Critical wounds do extra effects, so they can make a guy not be able to see, or, again, make him crippled so he can't move as fast, and that lasts the entire battle. So it's pretty devastating. Yeah, we like Showdown. Showdown's the only real-time element in the game, but it's kind of fun. And if you go up against enemy heroes and stuff like that, the little meter acts differently. It's much more erratic and much harder, and you're way less likely to get damage on them. They're like the skilled fighters. So. All right, so we got Rita here. She got hurt a little bit off that, but she can't really get close enough to that guy to do anything. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have her move up, get into position to kind of force this guy to kind of stay there. If he decides to run off, she gets a free attack on him, which is pretty devastating and pretty awesome. Now, Randall's kind of out of range, so again we're gonna he's got a shotgun. He blew up all the cover though, so he's got to deal with the results of him blowing up all the cover. But it kind of worked out overall for everybody. Let's see what she can do. She's got a poison bomb. That's probably not the right thing to use with a bunch of friendlies around. Corrosive acid reduces the enemy's weapon damage, so she'll probably kill him with this too, but let's see what happens. Yeah. See, Randall did a little cheer there, so it's not, again, we do have some things that happen when successful. Think carefully before you shoot at me. There's little things they do say, and some of them are reactive things, so if they miss or hit really good, you'll see them say certain things. Now, this means we don't see anybody right now, but there's some more enemies, maybe over here, in this other camp area over here that we can kind of see. Then we'll start moving our guys over, running them in. Who else we got here? Caitlyn actually has an action point left. Let's see if I can move her somewhere. I'm gonna put her behind this here, and we can move her up next round. All right, let's end the turn and see what happens here. Pretty sure there's some of the guys over there. Oh, there's a guy. So now we're on the hunt. We have Devil. He's hiding behind this wagon, so we're gonna have Devil peek around here. Oh, there's another guy. So, got two guys. Devil's got him exposed. Let's see what we can do. Intimidate. Intimidate's kind of a cool ability. It means the enemy can't attack Devil for 2 rounds. Again, that's one of his specials. And when you level up guys, we'll show this when we go into Saga mode, but when you level up guys, in your heroes specifically, you get to pick what abilities they learn along the way. So you can kind of custom design your hero. And all the heroes have unique abilities, so there's no shared abilities there in terms of the specials and stuff. But I think we just had the Devil just terminate that guy. Gonna move Preacher up into position here and start trying to get close to this guy. And again, he just moved close enough to give Devil some accuracy, which is good. And I think we might be able to blind this guy. Let's blind this guy. He's blinded. Thunderbolt asks, Showdown councils can't attack. What? I'm not sure what the question is, but Showdown's kind of like an extra attack. It's like a 0 action point. This meter down, the meter down here, the clock fills up. And once it's lit up, you can use it, and it counts as a 0 action point attack. Yeah. Showdown, basically, the ability where it can't be attacked for 2 rounds. That'll cancel an enemy. The enemy itself won't be able to engage anything with him. It won't be able to shoot him. It can't use an ability on him. He basically can't be targeted. He can target that enemy. So if he wants to go into a showdown with that enemy, he can. Or if he wants to shoot the enemy, that's fine too. The enemy just can't affect him. Oh, we got another one over here. We got 2 more guys over here who are camped in. So I'm gonna take her. Normally could get risky and shoot, but she's kind of out of range. So I just want to get her in cover so she doesn't get blasted. And we're gonna start moving Rita up. Rita's a little bit banged up, but even a little bit roughed out, Rita's pretty tough. And he's got 3 action points this round. So we're gonna move him way up here. He can rush all the way up here and get very close to these guys. And he can use his shotgun blast against this guy who's exposed. Oh, miss. Sometimes even those great shots, you get in position and it just doesn't work out. But he's up close now, at least, so. Rita's not in great shape. She's getting hit a bit. But we're back to these guys now. So what are we gonna do? He's got one good shot here. The only one in range is this guy doing that stuff. That did not work out. Let's get him reloaded. Let's see if I can get Rita. She can't really get close enough to these guys to do anything. I can have her move up and throw, but let's see. I think I can run her here and have her throw at somebody. Maybe. We'll see. That might be... Oh, that's not far enough. There we go. Alright, so she can take a throwing... Oh, there we go. She hit that guy with a knife. So it was worthwhile. And over here, we can start kind of unloading on... Thunderborn asks, can you get permanent afflictions or perks? Your hired guns actually, which there aren't any right here that you can see, but the hired guns actually do come with permanent... We call them quirks. We're called afflictions, quirks. And I think you're talking about Darkest Dungeon. Very similar in that way. But yeah, you can get permanent quirks in them and also permanent perks. The hired guns are randomized, so you can get some pretty nice stuff. And the higher rank of a hired gun that you hire, it sounds confusing, but it's more likely to have good perks rather than quirks. And some of the quirks are pretty funny. We have one where a guy basically takes out a whiskey bottle and drinks sometimes. Like, he decides that he's not going to fight that round and he's just going to have a drink. Which is amusing, but can also be something you have to work around. Oh, can you get them from battle? The question was, can you get perks or quirks from battle? No, you cannot get perks or quirks from battle. But the only thing that's in a battle that can really happen to you that's bad, that would be considered like a quirk, would be if you get a critical wound, it affects you through the rest of the fight, which can be pretty bad. I mean, it's stuff like, you so you can't see as far, you can't shoot as far, things like that, or you can't move as much. And I mean, some of these things are pretty devastating during a fight. We didn't want to have them be permanent things if your guys would get all banged up too much, because the fights, especially in Saga mode, are pretty rough. As you get further into the game, you're going to go up against some pretty hardcore posses, and if you had too many things holding you down, you just wouldn't be able to recover. No matter what you did, it just wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to survive. Oof. Rita's down. Oh well, not great, but let's see if Randall can knock this guy. Oop. So Randall actually has an upgrade on his shotgun double barrel blast that can knock a target out. Normal shotguns can knock a target down sometimes, have a small chance to knock a target down. But in Randall's case, because he's upgraded the actual ability that he's gotten, the actual ability can also be upgraded differently as you level up. He was able to knock that guy unconscious. And being unconscious is super bad. You're basically defenseless, pretty much. I'm gonna do something risky that I wouldn't normally do. I'm gonna run Caitlin right over here, and we're gonna see this little fist shows up, and you're kind of like, well, what's that? What's this little fist about? Well, the little fist is you stomping on this guy while he's down and doing a tremendous amount of basically unblockable damage. So she just stomped him. He's almost dead. He can't really do much. And these guys will hopefully be able to come in and help finish it off here. Preacher and Devil Hands. In fact, Randall... Let's just like unload on this guy. And yeah, sometimes random shots, that wasn't actually Randall's ability, but random shots can shatter objects. Light cover can be shattered by that. So the question was, Thunderburn asks, is Rita down for good? Can you lose people? So in story mode, you can't lose people. You do get kind of a penalty for them for the next battle if they go down like this. But story mode's more for telling a story essentially. So we keep your guys around. However, in Saga mode, yes, your hired guns can die, and if you play the more advanced difficulties in Saga mode, your heroes can die too. So basically, you get to determine how much of a tough time you want, and that's determined after the fight. So like you'll have a fight like this, and at the end, they could end up in the doctor's office, or they can end up dead. We also kind of have a cool little boot hill thing in Saga mode where you can see how your guys died. Kind of essentially, it's the graveyard. You can get a read on what killed your guys. This can be fun to look at, like, oh, it was bandits, or that was, if it was an enemy faction, you'll know it was them. That gotcha. You can go take revenge. And again, I'm playing pretty aggressively right now. I mean, you could play very defensively. I could have waited for some of these guys to show up, or basically like played a lot more defensive game essentially. Where we weren't always going after the guys. But in this case, sometimes it's fun just to move in and murder everybody. Randall's got to reload. Caitlin went down too. That guy's being rough. Oh, this guy's still running around. I forgot about this guy. I was wondering where he was. Alright. So I think we're just going to get, again, really, really aggressive here. See if we can double barrel blast this guy. Okay, so this is a good example of knocking someone out of cover. So now this guy's been knocked out here and he's exposed to Devil. So Devil can basically just start pounding away on this guy. He's a tougher enemy, so he's going to take a few shots to put down. But there he goes. And now we have one pistol guy running around back here somewhere. Let's see, there we go. So we can do, let's see what we're going to do here. I think Fervor can be fun. Fervor heals Preacher. I'm going to show that just to show it. It's a self-heal, so this is one of his abilities to make him a little bit more durable. And that can be good. And it gives him speed as well, so next round he'll be able to move quicker, but we're going to do another showdown on this guy. Because this is a weak enemy, so in all likelihood, unless I really, really, really screw up the shooting part, he's going to get killed here. Yep. And just like that, he's down, and our guys have won, and here we are back viewing the end cinematic for this mission. And And now we're going to have a look at Saga mode. So you got 3 different campaigns here. These are just the story mode campaigns, about 30 missions, 2 different difficulties. That was on normal difficulty. There's a hard difficulty. Hard difficulty isn't just more health and everything else. It's also more enemies. It's more enemies in different positions in the map. So you can't just walk in and use the exact same strategy that you tried last time. Western Saga, we're going to load a game that we started on the festival as the last time we did a stream. It's the McCoys, and we were out taking over territory with them. So we'll talk a lot about Saga mode. There's a lot of things to Saga mode. Saga mode is our big kind of 4X, like town development and strategy development. You get to build posses and hire guys and, again, go try to take out the other factions. It's basically all about, taking your territory and keeping it. I think I was loading. Try a new game. Seem to be liking that tonight. So basically, this is how it all begins. You get your town, your starter town, and you get your 3 heroes for your side. You can be Hatfields or McCoy, so they're kind of the historical, classic Feud. We got tutorials, so if you don't know what's going on here, like, oh my god, this doesn't look anything like the story mode battles I was doing, you can kind of get a feel for what you're supposed to be doing here. Right now we have 2 posses. One's led by Jim Vance, and the other by Camp Hatfield. I'm going to ride these guys out and start exploring. So in this mode, you basically got a world map, and your goal is to take over more territory, to get resources, and to take out the other enemies. And much like normal play, your guys, you can basically advance turns, and the enemies will move. They'll get their turn. We haven't really encountered anybody yet, but I'm sure we will soon enough. This is an event. Events could be beneficial, could not be beneficial. Some of them are quite dangerous. Some of them are optional once you go there and encounter it, and they're randomly generated. And the world map here is actually randomly generated as well. So every time you play, the game will be different, basically, in terms of the world map layout and where your town is and pretty much everything. Let's get Jim here. We're gonna ride Jim out. Like, what is this red line? The red line is actually the Hatfield territory. So this whole area here with the red line around it is my domain. You get benefits for fighting inside your domain. So basically, there's a lot of times where we want to draw an enemy back into your territory, or actively flee to your territory and engage them there to prevent you getting any kind of minuses you might get from fighting in their territory, because they get benefits too. If you come into their lands and start stirring stuff up, that doesn't go down so well either. So I'm going to come over here, and you can get really interesting layouts on the map. Like, this is kind of a mountainy area where I've got to creep back around here to this graveyard event. And the events, you'll get used to them. They won't tell you when you hover over them, but like, this is a cave event, and again, as you do these, you'll get to learn kind of what they are. You can see little crosses here and little tombstones. This is a graveyard event. The different biomes reflect the maps that you're going to get when you're fighting. We have over 100 maps in the game. They're all hand-built with multiple spawn points. There's tons and tons of variety as far as the maps you see and, the fights you can get into and all that stuff, which is pretty fun. Again, we kind of wanted everything to be so you kind of continually had interesting fights to participate in. And you never felt like, at least not too freaking like, oh, I've done this before. We really wanted to have it be, hey, this is new, this is interesting, but also keep the feel in the battle maps, specifically of it being like designed. So this right here is Dustrise. It's a neutral town. I get cash for getting it. Cash is really good because it lets me recruit more guys. I'm going to ride over to it and capture it. And towns like that are also really cool. We're going to go back over here and have a look. one of the things you can do with the town is if your posse is on it, you can use an ability. Skelly Pope asks, is there a release date? Yes, we're coming out July 22nd. So about a month away from right now-ish. So very, very soon. So here we got a trinket shop and prime stables. I can click on this and see what's for sale. I can't afford it right now. It's unfortunate because it's a pretty nice item. It's a blue uncommon rifle, and I've got a couple guys that use rifles. So stables, prime stables will give you a horse that you can get a shot at. Again, that costs a lot right now, but at least I got the town early, so I can generate some cash. Everybody likes cash. Now we're going to take these guys in, and again, I'm going to play a little more aggressively in Saga than I might normally. We're going to go in here and see what happens here. Supply discovery, so it was a good thing. We went to the graveyard. This will tell you just a real brief little story about what happened. We got some good luck. We got 11 goods in the graveyard. Somebody left some old crypt that they'd left open. We decided to, loot it because, we're not saints. So research. One of the big parts of this play mode is you can research stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. So this is going to show us anything with a green dot you're open to you can research right now. You can also look and see what kind of resources you might want to get to research them later and what all the different research items can do. And it goes way down. There's some powerful stuff you can get if you go down one of these trees. But it isn't just this. This is just posse research. We've got weapons. All the weapon types have research trees. Production, which is all about getting more resources to do more research and buy more things. And strategy. Strategy is pretty cool. If you buy some of these, they let you affect the world map. So you can do a bank robbery on an enemy town, or heal one of your characters who you might want to get back out in the field quickly, or up production at one of your mines or farms. Right now, we're just going to do quick learner. Let's our hard guns level up a little quicker. Thunderbird asks, does this mode have a tournament? No, it doesn't. You can eventually win. If you beat the 3 other factions, you'll win. There is no turn limit. It kind of has I want to say it has a soft cap, because eventually the enemies get really, really powerful and will become more aggressive towards you. If you just linger around and kind of ride around in circles or whatever, they're not going to sit around and just sit on their hands. They will come and try to eliminate you. And like I said, they get pretty tough. And if you leave all 3 living for a long time, if you don't go assault their towns and take them out, they'll just come murder you. Basically, it's very hard to fend them off, especially if you're in something like Last Stand mode, which is the hardest difficulty. The posses they'll start sending against you are brutal, really, really brutal, which can be fun, but also something you can't withstand forever. And then if you kind of want to see where you're at on the map, we have this map right here. So we're on the edge of the map. This guy's over kind of exploring the edge. This lets you know this is dark space out here we haven't even looked at yet. You can see your territory is all in red. Just kind of a quick thing to get a feel on how things look, how things function. We're going to go back to town right now. Go back and look at the posse menu. So this is where the posse builder is. You can see this is my posse up close. Thunderwoman says the map seems large. It's pretty large. It's definitely, it'll take you a little bit to just go out and explore, and then you'll start running into enemies and it becomes a little more dangerous to explore because you're going to be moving into their territory and they don't like that very much. And there's just, once conflict starts going, you have to be careful about how many posses you've got out engaging guys and how many posses you've got kind of playing defensive and how many posses you've got exploring. You can get a third posse. You can also do research that lets you get more than 3 eventually. So we've got Boot Hill here, which I mentioned earlier. Nobody's died right now, so this is empty, but you'll be able to see where your guys die. You can purchase horses. These change from round to round. Recruiting hired guns. Well, we only got 3 cash, so we're not really not doing anything yet. But these guys are awesome. Once you can start recruiting guys, you can build a pretty good team. And then obviously this jumps you back to research. We just wanted to make sure you can get around. If you're within some of the main menus, get around to the other places from those menus, so you don't have to come out to the world map to get there. You just jump over there. This just tells you, hey, you can look at this. We have kind of an encapsulated, hey, how many resources do I have? How many resources do I get per turn? Your capital generates a little bit, but the extra town is helping here. this tells you how long your research is going to be before it's done. This shows you how many heroes you got. You do get more heroes as you get into the game, as the turns go by, and those are also randomized. So you're not going to get the same heroes every time you play, other than the Hatfields and McCoys that you start with. This is a farm. Produces goods. You can also see this has quirks and perks as well. These are also randomized per game that you play. So this one has rugged workers. So there's one rare hired gun defender. So if you end up having to defend this, that guy joins in and helps as an AI supporter. And also has a wagon train that goes up to the capital with extra supplies. And this is specific to Dead Gulch Farm. So you get these kind of interesting benefits, and sometimes there are quirks too. There are negatives as well. Oh, there's an enemy posse, and he doesn't like me very much. I think maybe he wanted that farm. So this is the Roston Regulators. They got a hero, an epic guy, uncommon guy, and a common guy. It's probably be a good fight, you know. Again, I'm just gonna jump them so we can get in the fight here. This is what a fight looks like in the world. You jump in here, they kind of gives you a comparison. Give you a little rough percentage, like, hey, maybe, you know, 50-50, 43%. You know, it looks not in my favor, really. I've got 3 commons here. They're all level 1 and can just cap. So this will probably be a kind of a tough fight. We'll see. You can battle later if you want to go, like if I want to go move Jim right here. You know, if I want to move Jim around and start checking out stuff up here, I can move him, but then I can also just click here to come back to cap. We're going to jump in here. This will load up one of our battle maps. Here we go. We're in the swamp. Here we can see our guys. There's Cap. You can see one of their guys kind of tucked in behind there. We move Cap up. Cap's got an extremely long range. He's got a long rifle, but it's a pretty good cover. He's also a pretty good shot, so he actually was able to hit that guy pretty cleanly. My other guys are knife guys, so I really got to move him in quickly. But I'm going to get him in cover so he can move up effectively. Got a dual pistol guy here who doesn't have much room to maneuver here. We're going to get him here. We have lookout mode. Lookout mode works similar to Overwatch mode if you're familiar with other tactics games. Which means anybody who moves in your line of fire, they'll shoot at. You have a bit of a penalty. And the turn here. So this guy just did the benefit to friendly, no targets in range. That's it gives you a little bit of information sometimes. Thunderborn Ass says, I see you can poison, but what other afflictions are you? Can you bleed? Yes, you can bleed. Their knife attacks can bleed you. A lot of Rita's abilities can bleed you. There are a couple of characters that have ranged attacks that can bleed. There are also some characters that can capitalize on a bleed with some of their attacks. So if somebody is already bleeding, they can actually inflict more damage. You can also get caught on fire. We haven't seen that yet, but eventually Jim Vance, who's in the other posse right now, you can get a firebomb with him, so you can light people on fire. There's some fun stuff like that. There's dynamite. These guys are just going to move in and go at this guy. Stun. Yes, Thunderborn Asses, are there stuns? Yes, they're absolutely stuns. And stuff like blindness, like Preacher, we showed off Preacher's blindness special ability. And there's knockdowns, where I think Preacher got knocked down in the one match we were playing, the desert level, where you have to spend an action point to stand up. Now that's not too bad, but as I said, we also use an ability to knock a guy out. Knocking a guy out is pretty much like, that guy's down, and it's going to be 3 or 4 rounds before they get up. So it's just the worst case scenario is a knockout. Because you really can't even do anything then. It's not like you can use your action point and run to cover or something like that. You're just stuck at that point. And we have slows. I guess if we're talking about like status effects, we have slows. We have debuffs you can put on somebody so you can see them even if they run behind cover, or like a obstruction cover. Just all kinds of stuff. I mean, we generally try to be creative. We've got attacks that that Rita has an attack where she can throw you to the ground and stab you, and it actually holds that character there, and they have to effectively try to break out every round. So it's like a stun, but also damage. Thunderborn asks, the enemy can do it to you also, right? Yes, there are many of these abilities come your way from enemies, and there's actually a class of enemy. We're playing just a normal mode game right now of Saga, but the harder difficulty modes, they start having advanced abilities, and those are really brutal. And also, oh, these guys are getting some free attacks in on this guy as he runs. Oh, missed though. But those are pretty astounding. One of them's like Armor Breaker, where it can basically like reduces all your toughness and ability to handle damage. We've got guys that can make you panic. Panic's actually almost worse than stun sometimes too, because panic will cause you to run out from whatever cover you're at in a random direction, basically, usually away from the source of it. And guys can also panic when guys die. Like when that guy died right there, we could have seen our guys panic because they're afraid, obviously. Somebody's got murdered in front of them. Thank you. So that stuff's cool. We like it too. We really tried to put in as many like unusual, abilities and things that we thought were fun that made the fights more interesting, really. Especially for the advanced player. Like once you learn all the basics, and you start getting the two harder difficulty modes of Saga, it can become very challenging. You really have to know the game and understand how effective all your abilities can be together, and like what's your posse makeup. Do I want to research shotguns and run with a full shotgun posse? I mean, there's some interesting options basically that you can work with. Thunderborn asks, can heroes do combos off each other? Not in the way I think you're asking me. You're basically saying, hey, does like Cap Hatfield and Devilance Hatfield, like, is there something specific to them that makes them combo off each other? The answer to that is no. It won't chain like that, but there are combos like we were kind of showing off. It's kind of create your own combo, really, because it's kind of like when, for example, we used Randall and he had the shotgun blast that pushes the guy out of cover. You can basically use that in, if you push a guy into Rita, she can stab him, and then somebody else can shoot him because now he's exposed. A lot of it's kind of about like figuring out your own combo. Like, hey, I want to use nothing automatic. No, yeah, you get Thunderborn asks, is there anything automatic? No, it's nothing automatic. We wanted to make it where you kind of designed your own combos, and it's pretty awesome too because we haven't seen it happen yet, but the weapons all have a special. That guy's hiding behind it. The weapons all have a special ability too that can get activated, and those you can again use very effectively. There have been times, I think with Bad Frank Phillips, who's a double pistol wielder, that I've had him kill 7 or 8 guys just by doing, showdowns and his abilities, and he has a gun dive he can get, and just all this stuff, and basically you can chain all that stuff into some wonderful murder sprees. Which can be quite a yeah, our guys are getting murdered here. I should have basically played this very cautiously, but we're here in a stream and we want to have fun. So we want to see these guys get shot, and looks like all of our guys are going down pretty hard here. But they were tough bosses. So let's see if I can murderize anybody here before this happens. So we really didn't take out any other guys, which isn't great. There's a critical wound. Cap's down, but like I said, this is normal mode, so all of our other guys died. That's just too bad. You can research things so they don't die as often. We've got some tips we have pop out here. Cap's wounded. Posse disbanded. The territory goes black. How they're recruiting. They give you the nice recruiting tutorial now. Hey, you should go recruit some guys. Your guys are dying. Please recruit somebody. So in here you can check, this is what I was talking about, you can actually see the perks. Battle Analysis has got a crit chance, which is stackable. His quirk is he can only equip 3 items. Most of the hired guns can't equip a full amount of items. You can only equip 3. Rising Fortitude's a really good one, ups his toughness. So both these guys are quite good. I kind of like the double pistol guy, so I'm gonna grab this guy up. and then the other two guys we can't afford right now. We're going to start forming another posse. So how you do that is you just go here and you just start adding guys. You just click add, and this guy shows up here and he's waiting. As it's saying here, there's a horse required. I think our horse got slaughtered as well, or stolen. And you can see some of the guys in the doctor's office here too. And this is them recovering. Devil's recovering, and Cap's recovering. Devil seems to be permanently recovering right now. And then Boot Hill should be, yeah, here's Boot Hill's populated with some dead people now. Let's get out here to Jim. Let's see what Jim can do. There's a couple of events up. I'm gonna go over here to this one. Research, we might be able to do some interesting research stuff. We've got one going already. Let's check it out and see if anything else. We're a little bit low on supplies. I need to grab some more resources. Is what I need to do. I need to get some farms and some things that I can use. I was kind of going for one down there where that posse murdered us, but nothing like everybody getting murdered to have be a problem. Quick learner, so that just got fully researched. Wounds. This is just kind of a tutorial telling me you can check on guys who are wounded. You can still edit them when they're wounded. So here's these guys are coming up. This is the same posse that we just saw, who's gonna attack this town basically and take it over, or try to. Nothing we can do in here yet. Soon. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to try to just defend this. We'll see. I don't know if they're coming for it or not, but... So what's in the trinket shop? Purchase. Alright, let's end the turn and see what goes on. I think these guys are probably going to... Yeah, they're going to jump us. Alright, oh, geez. So we have a pretty good-sized posse here against theirs. We get that extra guy. We've got an extra defender here, so that's good. It looks like we have somebody over here taking a drink. So this is what I was talking about. This guy over here is one of our... He's got the drunk as the drunk. 15% chance to stop all actions for the turn and have a drink. So basically, he's out here chilling while we're getting jumped. So not so cool. What a bastard. Alright. Getting everybody moved into position here. There's Devil. I can see they're coming in from this direction, so I'm going to move him out here. Got a window there we could use. We got these other things we could use. Move out here into position. See what we can do. So that guy's slowed down. Have a harder time getting to cover. Got a pistol guy here who's good, but probably too far away to be very effective right now. Our knife guy is actually all the way down right next to him. Charge, so he can get a huge speed bonus. And we're going to put him... I'm going to cause him to do something kind of suicidal here, but it'll kind of help hold these guys down here. I'm going to move him right here. So these two guys, if they decide to move, if he doesn't get killed next round, they try to decide to move, he'll be able to counterattack them as they try to move away. Alright, who else we got here? And this Hardy Jefferson, you can see he's in blue. He is a AI-controlled character. He's our extra character. He's an epic level character, so he's fairly tough. He's also a knife guy, so on the AI turn, he'll probably charge them, which will be great. If we can kind of hold them down here where they have a hard time getting into cover, that's never a bad thing. This guy's a hero. You can tell he's a hero because he's got the big radial thing on him. Helps you kind of tell who's who and what's what. I'm gonna move Jim into place here. Jim's pretty tough and has some pretty hard-hitting attacks. Devil can't really. He's kind of crouched behind this right here. You can't really see these guys. We'll run Devil back. Thunderborn asks, does the enemy level up on kills? The enemy levels up doing a lot of things, actually. It levels up by taking resources out in the map. It levels up by killing your posses. It won't level up within... You can't like level up within a battle like this, but post-battle, enemies can level, essentially. And the power level of the entire enemy faction goes up. And it means when they generate posses and things like that, they're going to be tougher posses. So an enemy that's been like taking a lot of events and like taking resources and defeating your posses, or even defeating other AI posses, just the AI will fight other AI, basically will be tougher to face, essentially, over time. So you don't want to give too many things away to the enemy. And that's kind of a bit of the pressure to try out some events, too. I mean, events can be good, but, you know, obviously there are bad things on them. Oh, this guy just did a hell of a job here. But the enemy will take the events away and use them to get stronger. And these are the counterattacks I was talking about with melee characters. The knife guys get that nice counter, and this guy's real tough, so he just basically ran in there and started swinging. Huh. Yeah, I know. Every once in a while you'll get like, everyone asks, that guy's better than your whole team, and it's like, yeah. Sometimes you get really good help, but that's kind of the important part of like resources and like knowing what you got, knowing who's going to join you. Again, since we went to our territory, you know, we happen to get, the guy's not always going to be that good. He could have been a total yokel. He could have been a common guy who was a complete yokel who wasn't very effective at anything. So, but it does give you that advantage. If you are there in your territory, you do get that nice, you know, hey, there's a benefit to this. Isn't just, you know, isn't just no reason. So like I did over here, I snuck around, got the drop on this guy. Gonna use a special ability on him. Probably kill him. Oh no, we're missing. We're missing. Everybody's shooting like they're drunk tonight, you know? Sometimes it happens. Put him in the lookout right now. This guy I don't want to run up too far and get killed. I'm just gonna move him over here behind this building. Let's see. Yeah, see, he also got the inspired mode, so he's got 3 action points now too. So he's not got much life left, but he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. He's probably gonna kill this guy. Oh, or not. Wow. Oof. Rough. We got some lookout mode shots. This guy's going to take a shot at him as he runs by. Put him down. So yeah, we're very lucky we had that guy. Very, very lucky. This would have been a much more uneven fight if that guy wasn't with us. But that was on them for attacking us in our territory. You know? I mean, that's part of the game. Is like, again, knowing where to engage an enemy. Now he's up there. We can just. I'm going to have our guys kind of wait and see what goes on here. Get everybody in lookout. Gonna get this pistol guy protected. I just want him where he's not gonna get decimated. He can go and lookout too. Why not? This guy might just go off and murder everyone. Or at very least he shows us where everybody is. And that's another advantage sometimes of an AI guy. In this case we're lucky that this AI guy is like super tough and he's just murdering people. Causing them to panic, you know, just going at it. Now these guys are going to start getting lookout shots, so didn't do too much, but that guy's basically busted up. Our knife guy, our knife helper is still going. The question is, do enemies ever surrender and you can take hostage or recruit them? No, we don't have anything like that really. They can panic and stuff like that, but they won't surrender to you. You can find events where you can hire guys. So there's that aspect of the game where like some events are actually hire events where it's like, hey, I found somebody and I can like recruit on the road essentially. And some towns actually have that too. ability to recruit guys from the town. Just like the one town we got has a horse where you can buy horses, and it allows you to get an extra chance at getting something good, basically. And sometimes the prices are lower too. So. Now, Devil just had Inspired Mode go off, so Inspired Mode immediately gives you an extra action point. The Knife guy had it happen too, when he killed the guy over here, one of these guys that he's been murdering. But for rifles, it gives you Deadeye. Deadeye is like an unlimited lookout. As many guys that move as many times as he gets to shoot, so it doesn't get consumed once you shoot once, which is kind of nice. Because obviously you can, if you've got a big group moving in on you, Devil would just shoot every single time one of those guys moved, basically, versus being limited to one. Kind of don't want this guy to get killed, so we're just gonna. The guy they have left is a hero. Just gonna put him in lookout. Sometimes it's best if you have some kind of green guys to just keep him safe. And one of our guys got shot up, but I can protect these other guys because this guy doesn't matter if he dies. Our hero helper here doesn't matter if he dies because he's a temporary guy, right? So. The bad news is if our temporary guy is actually eating up the experience. Because you do get extra experience not just for defeating the whole fight, but also for each guy you kill, so individual characters can get more experience based on their kills. So there is some disadvantage to having that guy murder everybody. I mean... Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of up to you to, like, again, how aggressive are you going to be, and, he's an extra guy, it's like, you're still going to get the experience for winning, so, and look how much benefit that guy was. I mean, trading off some experience to him, probably worthwhile. Let's see if our little, our little common helper here. Yeah, Thunderbird says it motivates you to kick ass. Yes, it motivates you to not let the AI do it. That's why I had those guys move in hard on that guy, because I wanted somebody to get the kill. And we got some level ups off of it too, which is nice, It does show you that this guy, wherever he goes off to, is only wounded and he leveled up, so he did survive that. Our guy unfortunately died. The guy was in our posse, so but we did get some level ups. He asks, what are the things like Vindicator and Untouched? They're kind of like little achievements that those characters had during the fight. They're just for fun. They're like little benefits, like, oh, hey, this cool thing happened, This guy did something awesome, basically. And we're going to get into here, we're going to see that this is what a talent tree looks like on one of the hero characters. Right now, he's just got some basic stat enhancements down here you can do. The next rank is going to unlock a modification to his leg shot attack. So basically, you can pick which one you want. You can only pick one. And then when you get up to the next thing here, you can see you can either get Will Breaker or Double Fire. And again, you only get one of these. And if you choose Double Fire, then you get these. You get the upgrades up here. And if you choose Will Breaker, you'll get the Will Breaker upgrades to choose from. And you've got a couple levels of that essentially, because you've got another choice of abilities up here as well. Intimidate and Inspire. And then that determines what upgrades you can get for those. And also at the top you get a passive, and some of the passives are really, really nice. It takes a while to level up a guy all the way up to the top, but knockdown chance reduced. So again, this helps you guys not get knocked down. And then he's got Vengeance, so when he's struck with a range attack, not an explosive, he's got a 25% chance of returning fire. So it's pretty powerful. We also have this cool little thing here. You just click on this and it'll jump around to whoever you need to do stuff with. I'm just going to give him some more accuracy. I'm going to show, and again, the hired gun upgrade trees are randomized and not they don't get any special abilities that you can grab, but it is interesting because you can kind of design them how you want. If this guy has a bunch of health upgrades, he has 4, 5, 6 health upgrades, so we can make this guy really, really high health and hard to put down, or we can start getting into accuracy and give him 3 accuracy upgrades and some criticals and make him more of a damage guy. You can also edit the appearance of your characters for hired guns. Heroes obviously are set, but hired guns, if you want to come in and Give them different kind of hats, head shapes, different hair, different facial hair. Like I want this guy to have a handlebar mustache of some kind. You know, hair color, dark hair, skin tone. You know, different kind of jackets. You can also name him. Let's just name this guy Bob Smith, the legendary Bob Smith. You can name him after your friends or whatever. So. We got items you can equip on guys. This is a double pistol guy, and I do have a double pistol item, so this is going to increase his damage and his speed by 2, so he can move more. So let's give that to him. Let's give Bob Smith a little benefit there, and then we can probably start looking and seeing if any of our guys have recovered. I think our guys are still in the doctor. Devil, I'm not sure why Devil showed up here, but Cap's still hurt. We need to start recruiting some guys though. Let's see what this guy's got. Quick draw is an excellent one. It's a counterattack ability. So we're gonna recruit that guy. Can't afford the other guy, but this guy's here. We're gonna start. Oh, this is a cool thing. I'll do this. We had a guy die last time, so let's say we want to make this posse more powerful. I can add this guy. 2 days on the road, he'll join up with a posse. It kind of shows up as a ghostly outline. So you can reinforce your posses as they're out. You don't have to go back to town. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It does take time though, and again, you can use that as kind of a strategic element as well, where you wait for a guy or you avoid an enemy posse until your reinforcements get there and join your posse. It can be a real good thing. It's something we came across along the way as we were playing, and we all kind of found, like, I don't want to say frustrating, but just, you know, we wanted to be able to not have to go back to like one of the towns or something to get guys every time. And speaking of that, I am going to wander over here and see if I can find some. I was going to do that event, but I want my guy to show up, so I'm going to see if I can find a mine or a farm or something else to grab. Thunderborn says he likes the upgrade tree and stuff, but would like to see some more permanent perks and afflictions. I mean, it was a design choice for sure. I mean, you never know what the future might bring. I mean, I love that stuff, and I love stuff like Darkest Dungeon. You know, so who knows? Who knows if it might show up in the future? But there's a farm. Here's another hero. This is what I was talking about, where a hero can join you along the way. So Rita's joined us, so we have a powerful knife enemy now. And I'm going to jump back to town, and we're going to look at this posse here with our guy in it, and start putting Rita in there. Jagged Alliance. I love Jagged Alliance. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that game. Me too. We've been playing a really long time too. Like, a lot of the inspiration came from games like, obviously, XCOM and stuff like that, but Jagged Alliance and, you know, I'm trying to remember some of the old games I used to play. You know, obviously Heroes of Might and Magic, the early Heroes of Might and Magic was a lot of inspiration for the strategic mode, for the saga mode. You're looking at events and things like that. So yeah, we couldn't be bigger fans of all the games in the genre. So now we have a farm. You can see our territory is kind of expanded here. So we're kind of taking over this side of the map, or at least trying to. There's a bunch of events up here for us to do too. Once we get our guy, I don't think he's arrived yet though. Maybe he has. Oh yeah, he arrived. He must have arrived when I wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna go back up here and try to see what's going on with this event up here. And the turn again. We're getting some nice cash. Oh, I've got an enemy that's thinking about. It's the McCoys. The dang McCoys. They've got that's a pretty powerful posse. Might just ride around them for the moment, since we're still kind of repairing from our hasty actions at the beginning. So let's see here. We got Paralyzing Shout. That's a really, really good one. That's a stun. Speaking of a stun, that's a good quirk. Or perk, sorry. Good perk. which is a stun. So we're going to grab that guy up. Get him in here. There's one more guy. Is Cap recovered yet? He's still working on getting recovered. It's been down a long time. We'll see if these guys are right on by. The enemy can change their objectives, so sometimes from turn to turn they may decide to do something else. It looks like he's pretty intent on that, and I have another McCoy posse moving in on these guys. These guys I can murder, so I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to see if we can't distract the other posse by taking out these guys next to us. I'm going to fight them in the snow. We're fighting in our territory, so we may, it's not guaranteed, but we may get an extra guy. It looks like we did get an extra guy. This time it's not nearly as wondrous of a guy, but he is an extra guy, still a helper. And this is what happens, like I said, you can use your territory kind of effectively as a bonus. And there's more bonuses than just getting an extra guy. You actually get courage and stuff like that, so the chances of panic and things like that, and survivability for your guys is much better, like 10% I think better within your own territory. So again, you've got a lot of advantages if you stick to that. Looks like we're loading here, dude. It's taking its sweet time. We may have actually had a extremely rare instance of a crash of the game. Does not happen much. I'll be right. I'm just going to throw on the streaming soon graphic, and we'll be right back. Oh, sorry. Thunderborn asked, what do the colors mean on the people like green or blue? That's rarity of the hired gun. So what you're looking for, and it uses pretty standardized, green, blue, purple, orange. Orange are legendary, so you're basically looking at, like, if you want to get purples and oranges as much as you can. Although the other guys, after you level them up and get gear on them and stuff like that, can be very powerful. Let me restart the game. It looks like we have actually. This is the first. We've been doing a ton of streams with Feud, and this is the first crash we've had in a really long time. So. And just like that, we're back. It actually was not a crash. That was actually the lead programmer, who was awesome, Ken, awesome guy. It was pushing an update to the game. So we basically got a nice update. So it probably has some fixes to some stuff that I'm unaware of right now. But here we go. We'll take care of this guy. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if hopefully this won't crash this time. Looks like things got shuffled up a little bit though. Yeah, there we go. So, we just got caught in the middle of an update. And now we're in a fort level. We've got a couple guys here. We've got a pretty big posse. We've got an extra guy here. All kinds of stuff. Can I just move everybody in here? It's going to be a little bit of a hunt for wherever this one guy is hanging out. Could be in the fort, he could be like way over hidden in the forest somewhere. We'll find him. And yeah, we were talking about the characters and their colors. The same goes for the items. So a green item is you know, a common item, and a blue item is uncommon, and whatnot. See, now this guy is being useless. And our knife guy this time just went into lookout mode. So again, sometimes they can be a little bit like, you know, they're a little bit clueless or want to do their own thing. Actually, their guy was a knife guy too, so he came up to us. He's panicked. That's a good example of panicking. We gave him a shot, and he panicked. He should be panicking though, because we've got guys all around him, and he's just not gonna have a good day. In fact, I'm just gonna, like, again, part of like the strategy can be just knowing that, like, hey, there's just one guy, so we're just gonna come in and, you know, take care of him. I don't have to worry about staying in cover too much there, or, you know, deep defensive strategies when we've got a guy who's basically running right into us. And the good news about that was we got some level ups off of it. So I'm gonna give him a toughness upgrade, which is pretty good. I tend to make Jim tougher. I mean, he can be a real tank if you want, and kind of be able to take some shots, which can be very helpful. I'm gonna give this guy some, let's see, some health, because I don't have too many opportunities of getting health. Alright, let's go see what other posse's up to. Enough money? Yeah, I have enough money to buy somebody else. Let's see, but charge is pretty good. Strong-headed. So this is an example of one of the quirks. Character acts on his own sometimes on your turn. 1 AP is missing from him, and he decides what to do with one action. Which can be fine, or can really suck sometimes too. So, but let's get him. And get him in the posse. Because that'll get us a full posse of guys. And all we need now is a horse. I don't think we have enough. Oh, we do have enough money for a horse. A big purchase there for that horse. Add that light bay racer. Different horses have different speeds and benefits as well. So it's not just your hired guns that have advantages and stuff. It's horses as well, and they can be killed. Again, unfortunately killed, or we can assume stolen if you lose a fight. I like to assume stolen. Hopefully nobody's out there murdering horses all the time. So here's Rita's posse. She can actually go out this round. You'll know that you have a horse and stuff because they'll show up on the map then as an active posse. See, do I want Jim to go do that, or do I want him to? Maybe I'll head down here. You know, I'm just gonna do this event. And see if something good can happen. Wolf onslaught. Okay, so there aren't just people. There are other characters. The question is, so there are special unique heroes that are rare, like Billy the Kid. How about Indians? Well, there aren't special unique heroes that are rare necessarily. I mean, you've got your main hero characters. What I would say, though, is like legendary hired guns can be pretty unique and interesting because they get a combination of perks and stuff like that. So you do get those interesting combos where, like, hey, I really want that guy because he's going to be super effective. The heroes themselves are who they are, basically. We don't have any kind of rare or hidden heroes, and we love Indians, and we would love to have some in the game. There aren't any in the game right now, but we have like such a long list of awesome Wild West things inspired by movies and history and all of that. You know, and we've all certainly had long discussions about Deadwood and also, of course, Tombstone and the Earp Brothers and stuff like that. So, you know. The hope is maybe being able to bring some of those characters to the game. That's no Lone Ranger and Tonto. No. But yeah, it is something we'd like to add over time is you know, more characters and stuff like that. There's 11 heroes right now, and of course an unlimited amount of hired guns. So wolves are interesting because they're going to charge in. They're kind of like melee enemies, and you can quickly get overwhelmed. An onslaught is also kind of a different kind of... I'm just going to keep him in here. Because they're wolves, they're going to come busting in here. Onslaught's interesting because you basically we have 10 turns we have to survive. So the whole goal here is the enemies keep spawning, We gotta survive. That's it. And you can see him moving in on us. So. And yes, we have some bears too that can show up. And deer. There's some hunting missions as well, where you actually go out and hunt buck, and that actually gives you a lot of goods. So there's like some of the events are essentially hunting missions, and on some of those hunting missions you can get hostile stuff like wolves out there as well, or even wolves and also poacher type characters out there that are the equivalent of bandits. So you can get some pretty interesting matchups when that happens, where you've got aggressive shooting enemies and melee enemies and all that kind of stuff coming your way all at the same time. Wolf onslaughts tend to be pretty brutal. We'll see how we do here. This was a it can be pretty rough. This looks like it might be a pretty rough one. Hopefully we won't all get murdered. Yeah, you actually mentioned weather would be a good thing to add down the line. We don't really have weather, but we do have obviously different biomes as far as the zones go. We have swamps and mountains and grassland. Weather having an effect on the climate. We have thought about where, for example, you could have. I'm sure what you're thinking about is hey, if it's really rainy and foggy, you couldn't see as much and things like that. And there's certainly been talk about that kind of thing, where we could adjust the visibility essentially based on the weather. Wow, missing going on here. One wolf down. So many to go, though. So many to go. And this guy isn't really set up to shoot anything right now. I'll have to put him in the lookout again. If any of the wolves come in here, which they will, we'll be able to take some shots at him. I'm going to move this guy out and see if he can't start shooting at this other wolf here. Wolves don't have much health generally, except for the larger ones, but they do have a pretty high dodge. So there's that to worry about. We're doing pretty well though. We've taken a couple of hits here, but nothing too much. I mean, they're still moving in, and like I said, they'll spawn all the way through. So we got to survive some turns here. And it's getting a little bit more dire. Just a little bit. So we'll see what we can if we can try to take out some of this here. Dire wolves, exactly. Thunderborn says dire wolves. It feels that way. We do have some larger wolves too, some kind of like alpha wolves that are pretty gnarly. And those wolves actually, some of them have special abilities and stuff, unique special abilities that are. This guy's like the worst shot. This red-haired guy is. Sometimes we have heroes in the with hired guns, and other times you have guys that are just like, man, you are hopeless. Please be better. Please do better. All right, cool. We got this guy. Just had one of the. Yes, he would get the unlucky tag. I think he's or killed, preferably killed. No, I'm kidding. So what we can do here, I'm gonna use his extra action point to shoot, but. I didn't quite kill this guy, so what I'm also going to do is he's got a gun dive. Double pistol guys get the classic gun dive ability, which is pretty cool because I get my target, and then I can also set where I want to dive to. So let's say I'm just going to do this right now. Normally I wouldn't do it this way, but I can shoot this guy and then dive into cover, shoot this wolf and then dive into cover back here. It can be really effective, obviously, in range matches, and there's one of the heroes has it too because he's a double pistol wielder, so as I was mentioning, he can sometimes murder up to like 6, 7, 8 guys if you use all of his abilities and you have them properly set up. So yeah, we wanted to thank you guys. So Thunderborn says it's a cool ability, and we think so too. We wanted to include that. We wanted to include a lot of the classic kind of Wild West stuff that you'd see. We also, if you're a single pistol guy, that ability is not a gun dive, but it is a gun fan, and you can use that to suppress or to actually, murder somebody. Basically, if somebody's exposed, it actually shoots and hits at the target. If they're not exposed, you can use it to suppress them. So you can have two different uses for one ability. We felt the gun dive was so cool that, we wanted to give our guys, or other guys, something cool too. A lasso would be cool. Thunderborn says a lasso ability would be cool. Yeah, I think a hero with a lasso would be awesome. We also talked about a hero with like a bullwhip. I mean, I can share some of this stuff. I can share some of the things. We also talked about having a big pugilist type guy who would go around and just, basically, beat people up, essentially. Like a melee guy, but a different kind of melee guy. The brute. Nice. Exactly. And since we were talking about Native American characters, you can think about some weapons that they might have as well. So there's been lots of discussions about future things, future weapons, future things that might be able to make it into Feud someday. I can make it. He can kind of shoot this wolf here. I think I'm going to move him though, so you can get a better shot. Still really low. That wolf's got some cover perched down behind the window like that. This guy's got a wolf right next to him too. A little bit of hurt going on there. Let's. Oh, he's got to reload. The worst time for us. This guy's got 3 action points as well. So you get that second round where you got 3 action points. I'm going to move him. Just move him up here and try to have him pull an assist here. He's got a couple shots he can get off. Or not. Each gun has different accuracy. Each gun of a dual pistol loader has different accuracy, so the secondary shot is a little bit less of a chance to hit. Stuff like that. Oof. That was 70%. Sometimes you really want those shots to land, they don't. They can be. Thunderborn says the scenarios are pretty long. They can be. They can be really quick, like that one where we had one guy. They can be really quick, or they can be really long. It usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes to have a battle. This one's got a lot of turns in it, a lot of enemies running around, and I'm talking a bunch too. So. And the music change there, one of the things that happens is if you get in that inspired mode, the music changes to that kind of more fast-paced music. So it's gives you an indicator that like one of your guys is in inspired mode. He's got extra action points, and you should keep that in mind, all that kind of stuff. I should have moved this guy outside. I think I'll do that next round. He's got to reload. Wait till he reloads. Do that next round. See if this guy can... Okay, 80%. Let's just start... Let's get the one that's next to me that's going to claw me up. Yeah, if I can. Probably should have had that other guy fire at him inside the room. This guy, just 2 action points this round, but... He can maybe take this guy out. Get this one wolf down. Let's see, I've got to reload again. He's got pretty bad shot at this one. It's really well protected. You can basically barely see it. Let's see about the one outside. Okay, so that's down. And I can... that's it for this round. So we're doing a pretty good job of defending us as more enemies are coming. It will not allow you to quick draw a wolf. Or do a showdown with a wolf. So it has to be a human opponent. He asked me if I could have basically done a showdown event with a wolf. Most other abilities work on him melee attacks and things like that. Rita has a couple of abilities that are human only, essentially. So here's one called Grab and Stab that I was talking about earlier. That's basically a, it suppresses the enemy because it holds them and also damages them, but that's made for humans. It's not like she can't grab and stab a bear. However, a bear can maul you. So we've all seen The Revenant, I think we wanted to get some stuff in where it was like, yeah, you've been brutalized. So let's see if Jim can get a shot in here, get one of his big shots off. And these tend to last a little longer too, the defend scenarios, because you have to last that amount of turns. So we've got basically 5 turns left. It'll be 4 after these guys move. Got new enemies coming in, and the onslaught events can also be with bandits. So basically, it can be human opponents as well, and that can be tricky because they actually. I shouldn't say that, shouldn't give a hint, but they actually use a little bit of a different AI when they're in a mode like this, when they're in onslaught, which can be challenging. Now, the wolves themselves, of course, are all melee, so they're just going to come in for that. Let's see if we can clear out some of this here. See how far we can. Shot from the room. Oh, well, let's see if the pistol guy can handle it here. Yes. And another one goes down. So yeah, we're pretty close to being done with this. But yeah, these can last for a bit. And there are different levels of events as well. As the turns pass on the events will be harder. So basically, this is a great one to get with this kind of event. By the way, this where he gets an unlimited Deadeye. This is an excellent event for something like this. Because now you can go into Deadeye, and anything that moves in now will get shot at, basically. Let's reload this guy. I think everybody can pretty much like hunker down right now. There's nothing else in range, so we're gonna hunker down. We killed more enemies coming, but we killed pretty good amount of them. I was hoping that they might move in here, but they didn't. So we're just gonna put everybody in lookout again. Again, this is a good example of like where you just want to get people in lookout. You're just trying to survive. We want everybody to get out with experience and not die, basically. And these can be really good experience events too, because a lot of wolves got killed here. Here we go. We're gonna start doing their lookout shots. Everybody do lookout shots. Almost everybody. 1 turn remaining. So basically, we've got 1 turn left here. I think anybody can see those wolves right now. They're down the hill there a little bit. Just got to make it through 1 more turn. Really quickly put everybody in lookout mode. This wolf is going to get a lot of people shooting at it. The lookout does have a penalty to accuracy, so, and the wolves do have a high dodge, so that's why you see what's happening. It's happening now. Yeah, he got his little 1 shot off. And we got victory. So we basically lasted through that fight. And I think some people are gonna, we got some levels there, so that's good. We got some goods out of that as well. Let me get credit for the event. So let's go in here, really quickly level up our guys that need to be leveled. Emery, so now we're starting to get guys a little bit more, even further up. Give them some more movement. Let's see what this guy's got. Critical wound upgrade, so he has a higher chance of critical wound of health. I'm gonna go back out of here. Little gem over here. And let's get rid of moving. And a map turn. Looks like Randall, yeah, Randall just went and took our territory. So as you can see, that turned blue. I can't see it anymore either, but this turned blue, which is the McCoy's color. Let's get Rita down here. Gonna move in on those guys in a minute. That was another event spawn there. Let's see, we'll start working on a third posse too. Let's see what we can do up here. Yeah, I've been completely ignoring research. Not wise. So we got some different options now. Faster hero recovery, better survival chance for hard guns. We can start doing weapons one. This one's really, really good. I can. One in the chamber basically means your long rifle doesn't consume, has a 30% chance of not consuming the ammunition on hit, which is awesome. Long rifles are great range, high damage, but do have that one-shot reload every single time, and this kind of helps with that. It helps you be more fluid. But again, if I didn't have Cap, who was this awesome long rifle guy, I mean, I don't have a lot of long rifle guys in my posses right now, so I might have decided to not do that. Basically, and I said, you know, that's just not a good research choice for me, you know. There's Randall. So now it says enter McCoy's territory. So they get the benefits if they come and engage me before I take that farm back. Let me go down here first. We're just going to take that Dead Gulch farm back. Now that does cause hatred to rise with that enemy. So basically the McCoys, that doesn't go unnoticed that I took that farm. They will remember and not like it very much. Move Rita out of safe territory, out of our territory. We got guys moving around out here. I don't know what they're up to, but let's look at the map and see which way we want to go. I think I'm going to start going to the east. See what we can find. So we really could use a mine. We really could use a lumber mill as well. Research complete. That's great. So Cap's got a better chance. And all of our long rifle guys will. I just don't think we have very many right now. I haven't seen that we have very many. Here's one of our wagon trains. Oh, we might be getting jumped here. Let's see. That's kind of a weak group. Gonna ride. Ooh, dry flats mine. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna save this really quick. Hatfield Festival. Boom. Return to the game. Oh, also we have a hardcore mode, where we save for you. You don't save, we save for you. So that is in here, and you'll take your guys' deaths and you'll like it. You know, there's no reloading, there's no getting out of it. I'm just gonna go right into the battle here. This might be the last one for the evening. It's been a long day, so let's see what we can do here. Let's see some of their guys set up over here. This is kind of a more open map, a lot more room to move around. Kind of on an incline as well, snowy hill. Thunderbird asks if you have two groups next to each other, do they join attacks? No, they don't. Again, that was kind of done on purpose, just due to the number of enemies and stuff like that, because it could have gotten complicated if you had guys on all the hexes around you. You'd have 25 guys show up or something. Which would be, we're talking about a long fight. That'd be a long fight. So basically what you can do there is they each individually attack, and it also kind of helps because it's how we kind of balance the capital attacks. The enemy gets to attack your capital with that one posse, one time around. They can bring multiple posses over there. And your capital has durability, essentially, so every time they attack, if they win, your durability goes down by 1. That does regenerate over time, but it kind of limits how much damage you can do on somebody and how overwhelming your forces can be. So you can have 2 groups attack, again, the same group, like a town, but you have to execute each of those individually just for balance reasons, really. I agree it would be fun to have, like, the 30-man battle royale, but... it would also could be pretty unbalanced. However, there is a little bit of a benefit to that. While they won't join in, you can use your posse as, like, let's say we had a town that was kind of like back in the mountains or something like that. You can use a posse to block entry, essentially, to an area to, like, kind of be I'm going to say a precursor, but like a stopgap for an area of defenders and stuff like that. So there are some interesting things you can do with posses, just utilizing them on the map beyond just attacking somebody. So this guy has that strong-headed, so like that he took that one action that moving up actually was his action. But now I get to choose. I want to have him attack, so that's what's going to happen here. I'm going to have Rita attack as well. Should be able to kill this guy. And that will let me move up with her and see if I can find some more guys up here. This guy, you can actually see this guy's weapon here, his enhanced weapon out here too. It helps you, again, we want to make sure you could know, hey, that guy is really good. That's a really good set of revolvers. So like let's know about that. Battle analysis, he can have his crit chance be raised, so we're just gonna start using that. Because you can keep using it and stacking it essentially. It's stackable. So this guy has an ability too, is paralyzing shout. This is we're talking about stuns. Stuns a target, knocking them down until the end of the turn. I'm just gonna look out. Let's see what happens. There we go. I knew they were out there somewhere. And the enemy can be defensive as well. Like, it really depends on, like, and it can change over the course of a battle where an enemy decides to tuck in and kind of wait for you and go into lookout mode and basically behave like a player. And they can also adjust that and decide to come in and rush you as well. It doesn't necessarily need to be that way the whole time. So the enemy can be pretty dynamic about what they want to do. There's also kind of I want to call it a swarm type of AI we have with the enemy, where if they feel like they've got you outgunned and kind of overwhelmed, they may just kind of throw caution to the wind and come in at you, and not be so concerned with, the consequences of that, really, because they feel they've got you at a disadvantage, basically. There's a good chance for Rita throwing stuff. She's exposed, but she is pretty tough. This knife guy, I'm gonna move him over here. I know he's gonna probably move himself further, so I gotta trust that he'll take a somewhat smart action, I hope, when this is everything's said and done. But we don't know. Maybe not, There's a lot of maybe nots there sometimes. Don't know if I can reach anybody now. It's farther range, but move him up here where he can start shooting too. Some of these guys expose them a little bit, unfortunately. I think I can move in here, and yeah, can't do too much with him right now, but yeah, I figured that guy would move in and get himself somewhere where, oof. Well, that guy might have got his shots in this round, but he's got a knife guy and he's got Rita right next to him, so it's probably not going to work out so well for him in the following turn. Oh, paralyzing shot. So that was an enemy that had paralyzing shot. We were talking earlier about, hey, can enemies have abilities too? And yeah, absolutely. That guy just knocked down the other knife guy. So now that knife guy's going to have to spend... I'm going to have to... It's not that knife guy's going to have to spend an action point. I'm going to have to spend an action point to stand him up. Which means that's my only action I get with him this round, because he gets to spend his other action points. So hopefully he'll run in and like get next to this guy or something. But that was him. And I'm keeping her... This is interesting right now, because she's exposed to this guy, but I'm also keeping her behind cover here. So all of these guys, if they want to start shooting at her, she's got the benefit of cover. It's just kind of something to keep in mind, how to protect your how to protect your knife characters, because they do have to kind of expose themselves. And one of the last things we put in for them was that kind of counterattack ability that they get, because we thought it helped them, be a little bit more able to do something with an enemy that tries to move away. We wanted them to be able to get some shots in essentially on an enemy that flees, because you're gonna knife, you're right next to him, somebody runs off, the knife guy can handle themselves better than the enemy, the ranged enemy, somebody with a pistol or a shotgun or something even. We're imagining somebody who has a knife is just an expert at that kind of close quarters combat. So this guy, can't do too much with him. I can't even use that right now. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We got this fella down here who's kind of out in the open. Let's have him start taking shots at this guy. There we go. Sometimes it's fun just to walk out in the middle. To be ballsy and just walk out there and start shooting guys. That's something you can do with long rifle guys too. If you know the enemy team doesn't have long rifles, so you kind of have a feel for the range, you can kind of determine like, hey, I can have this guy stand outside of cover and get in a great position. And he's so far away, the enemies can't shoot him. You can also kind of, if you get used to knowing what the squares are like, you can see we have a grid mode. It just lets you see all the grid. It's kind of a little bit hard to see on the snow levels, but generally you can count squares or whatever if you want to. Thunderburn asks, is there any automatic critical kills? No more so than somebody just doing a tremendous amount of damage. I mean, really, it's just that's what it's about. Like if you rig a character to be a critical hit character or a critical wound character, and you can do that again, like getting certain items and leveling them up in a certain way. You can kind of design them to be like that. I mean, Rita's pretty good. Like when Rita gets leveled up and you get some items on her, she can run up and just do that like gut stab or something and kill a guy immediately. There isn't any kind of like auto kill like that, but it's really just about determining how much damage you can do, and emphasizing, hey, I want to rig this guy to be putting out so much damage that they're likely going to kill somebody, especially weaker guys. Most weak guys are 1 or 2 shot kills, especially if you get an upgraded weapon or you're using abilities on him. We'll talk about this guy in a minute. The guy with the silver shield over there has a very interesting ability, actually. Ooh, and she got inspired mode, so this is cool. She gets an extra action point, so I'm going to run over here and stab this guy. Hey, you look fun. Let's stab you. And then she also has this really cool ability called Set to Kill. Now what this does, this is for knife enemies. That's their special. If someone shoots her and she's in movement range to them, she will run and stab them. So, that means if 4 enemies shoot her during a turn, on the enemy turn, she will run and stab them all if she survives the experience, which is pretty brutal. Again, I've taken her before and run her out in the middle of a group of enemies, and she will just like ping pong around and murder them because they all take shots at her. Because she's out there, she's exposed. They think, oh, we should shoot her, and doesn't work out so well for them. So let's talk about the Silver Shield guy here. So this guy has an interesting ability, special ability called Guardian. What does Guardian do? Well, Guardian can only be damaged if hit while exposed. So basically, if you shoot at this guy right now, I could have every single guy unload on him. He will take no damage. He cannot be hurt when he's in cover. Now, there are some explosive attacks and things like that. If you throw a stick of dynamite on him, it's a little different story. But generally, when he's in cover, he cannot be hurt. You have to expose him. You have to get that red broken shield. So he'll always trying to be putting himself in cover, and you'll always trying to be getting to where you can shoot him where he's exposed. Now, if you can imagine if you end up with 2 or 3 of these guys on an enemy team, that can be a very challenging match as far as trying to get them exposed and get them killable, essentially. Bob has got his action point to use over there. We're just going to wait. Let's see what this guy does. He's going to move in. Oof. He's got good cover, though. I mean, so he took the shot. Yeah, and our Guardian guy here also is using a long rifle. That makes it even more difficult. Long rifle Guardians, I mean, are some of the best / worst characters to go up against because they've got such range. They don't really, unless you go expose them, they don't really need to move. They can just kind of sit there and wait for you to do whatever you're doing. Which right now, Rita, she's got 3 action points, so she does have tremendous movement. She can run all the way up to this guy with 2 of her action points. Oh, look, he's exposed, and I can start cutting right into him. Our other knife guy, I'm going to use his charge ability, which is him move more, and we'll rush him on up here too, as close as I can get him, so there we'll put him in melee range as well. Hopefully he'll take a swing, because again, he has this guy exposed. And now this guy should be able to move around over here, and probably take another attack as well. Let's use this, again, this is where something where you're like, oh, I want to raise my crit chance again, so let's like, keep getting my crit chance up. And as far as automatic kills too, one thing I will say, the gun fan, if you get the exposed version of the gun fan where you're not suppressing and you're just trying to kill somebody, enemy is really unlikely to survive that. Like it's even a full health, like pretty tough guy. If you land all that stuff on him, really hard to survive. And that's even without any kind of special weapons or any kind of other fancy stuff. It's just very difficult to live through that. Gun dive as well. Gun dive's pretty brutal as well. There's a very high chance of a gun dive taking somebody out because you get those multiple fires, and again, they have chances to crit. Again, if you design a character that crits heavy and they're doing gun dives and doing gun fans and stuff like that, yeah, good chance of putting the hurt on, basically. Yeah, I think this guy pretty much knows he's dead, and see, the enemy sometimes does that too. Like he'll say, "Hey, I'll try to kill one of your guys before I'm murdered," basically, because he is going to be murdered. So everybody survived. This was a really good fight. Everybody survived. Rita leveled up. All of our other guys are well on their way to leveling up. Take this mine. Look at our territory. We're starting to increase our territory here. Starting to spread out a bit. Rita's still got some movement left. And we're going to go in and level her up real quick. Then I guess I'm going to ask if there's any final questions for the night. We're going to be back again. I'm going to try to put up another stream tomorrow, sometime during the day probably. We'll come back in here and keep playing this game as far as the saga mode goes, and we'll jump into maybe a skirmish or something like that. There is a third play mode, which is skirmish. It's kind of just throwing together quick fights. You get to pick heroes. You can have all hired guns. There's a bunch of unique challenges you can do there, and kind of special achievements for that mode. That can be really fun. You can push yourself basically to see how good you can be, essentially. Let's see. So this is our throwing knife. So you can get extra damage on the knife throw, or extra range. I'm gonna take extra range. That can be really helpful. The damage is great too. I mean, having it get to be a tougher attack can be a good thing too. So we've got her leveled. We're going to start forming our third posse. Thunderborn, just appreciate your time. Yeah, absolutely. We love to talk about the game. That's one thing I know is everybody loves it. I mean, we got QA people who play on the weekends. We got people who work in different areas of the company who show up here and check out the streams. Everybody loves the game. It's a lot of fun to play. There's a lot of kind of surprise fights and dramatic turns of fate that can happen when you're doing battles and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. That's all I'll say about it. And thank you for showing up and asking a bunch of great questions as well. That goes for everybody. It's always good to see all some of the questions are the same, but a lot of them are new or unique questions that we get every time about kind of how things went, or why do we do something this way. I think it's fun to at least try to explain how we think. I can't say that we always succeed, but we try. So All right, guys. Well, good night. We'll be back tomorrow. There's also we're gonna have a new. You can say it here on the stream. It's be fun. We're gonna have some new video going up tomorrow. A new trailer for the game. It's pretty fun. So keep your eye out, and we'll keep streaming, and it comes out soon. We're got about a month away, so we're very, very close. Thanks, everybody. You have a good night too.